Okay, let's get the body started finding a ledge, something about knee height or lower. You're gonna get your back into a nice straight position by squeezing the glutes, holding in the lower core. Feet shoulder width apart. You're gonna rotate about your hand, stabilizing on the platform. Go about this without trying to collapse in the shoulder, keeping that hand pushing into the platform so that your shoulder is staying strong into a nice T every single time you turn up. You're trying to twist in a slow, controlled pattern, turning your chest completely the opposite direction each turn. Next, we're gonna go into dead bugs to reinforce that neutral spine stability. We're gonna go by lowering our opposite arm, opposite leg into that diagonal core pattern without having the back bow up while we're coming into that extension of the hip and flexion of the opposite shoulder. We're gonna pair the dead bugs with bird dogs now, trying to keep that neutral spine. I'm putting a yoga block. You could find any object that's roughly flat on the lower back to try and give you a reference point for a neutral spine. You're extending that opposite leg, opposite arm, just as you were. This time you're gonna try and kick that heel as far away from the top of your head as you can. So you're engaging the glutes, squeeze the butt, squeeze the low core, try and maintain that neutral spine. You can see that there's a little gap between my back. That's okay. We just don't want to do this exaggerated bend like that. Holding this for approximately 10 seconds would be great, alternating to the other side and then repeating over and over again until we've reached our set count. This works the posterior side of our body as opposed to the dead bugs working the anterior side. We're gonna go back into a twisting pattern now, this time a little more aggressive of a twist into a warrior pose. You're gonna come into a lunge, place your hand on the inside of your forward leg and rotate, pressing strong through the shoulder, trying to breathe out and turn your chest parallel to the wall next to you, each time rotating 180 degrees each direction. Breathe out as you twist up, breathe in as you come back. If this is hard for you to balance, place your foot a little wider. This is a forward view. Placing it a little wider will give you more balance. Shouldn't really change a whole lot, but it will help immensely. Keep that hand on the inside of the leg. Press through, twist, drawing the shoulder back each time, not just moving the arm. Trying to actually twist through your entire spine through there. And rotate 10 to 20 times on each side. In the top of a push-up position, you're gonna brace through your core by tucking your pelvis forward, stopping yourself from bowing through the low back. You're alternating each leg into a running lunge. As you bring one leg up, you have to stabilize on that opposite leg. This is a point of weakness if you're not focused on trying to keep your core on during this entire exercise. You're gonna slowly bring one leg up, tap it, hold it, bring it back, and repeat. In a kneeling side plank here, we're going to bridge up, integrating our abductors and core on that lateral side, squeezing the glutes forward into extension. Our shoulders are nice and strong. That top line of our body is nice and straight. And then we're going to go into a clamming movement here. We're going to repeat this clamming motion for as many sets and reps are as listed. And then you're going to switch sides. For some people, this next one might be kind of uncomfortable on the hip bones or pubic bones there, so grab a pillow or a pad if you're on a hard floor. I want you to keep that low back nice and neutral, bracing through the core, engaging the glutes to raise your toes off the ground. Once you're there, I want you to practice this quick fluttering motion. The full movement is going to have your arms extended out in front of you. Once those arms are extended, I want you to raise one off the ground, bracing through that opposite side there. Kick 10 rapid fluttering motions on that opposite side, and then switch arms, alternating back and forth. Finding a ball, I want you to hold your core in the entire time that we roll out in this exercise, tipping that front of your hip bones up towards your belly button, bracing through the low core, keeping that nice and strong. You're gonna have to turn on your glutes real hard here so that as you roll out, you're not going to bend through the hips, staying a straight line from your shoulder all the way down to your knees. If you can't go out very far, that's fine. Just roll out as far as you can. Hold that. Fight and struggle through that position there. Feel the shake and roll back in. Benefit on this is moving slowly and either holding it or moving slowly down and back in. Don't roll really quick through this. In this next one, we're going to be laying in a nice straight position here, and we're going to be squeezing our feet together hard so that we can feel those inner thigh muscles, the adductors engaging with our core into a side bend. It's not about how high you can go. We're just working through this movement. Move through it really slow and controlled. And if you can maintain that dipping pattern, I want you to try and go into a hold for 5 to 10 seconds or longer if you can. In this next one, we're going to do a shoulder bridge or a reverse plank or a pedestal or whatever you'd like to call it. We are bridging up using our glutes and holding our core in to keep us from dipping through, holding our shoulders nice and strong. Don't let your stomach go limp and dip the hips down like this. Keep that up nice and strong the whole time. And then we're maintaining that shoulder position. You might feel a stretch, but I don't want you to fall through. Keep that hold, the whole position. And finally, for the last one, you're going to find a physio ball into a side plank here. Come into a nice strong position without dipping your hips back or forward. Try and keep your shoulders nice and perpendicular to the ground without dipping those guys nice and forward. I suggest sticking your arms straight up into the sky. Once you're up into the position, using it to press off, then square your line of your body. This should be parallel to the floor, putting that arm straight in the sky so your chest is nice and square. You're squeezing those inner thighs on the ball, working those adductors in conjunction with the abductors that are keeping you up. Holding this position for as long as you can. Maybe it's only 5 seconds, maybe it's 10 seconds. We're going to work through as many repetitions of those 5 or 10 or 30 or minute long holds as we can to kill off this last core exercise.